Once you know what you'll be using a horse for and a general breed to look for, you need to think about where to house your new four-legged friend. There are quite a few options. Do you have room at home to keep a horse, or do you need to board it? How much space do you need?
When selecting the amount of space that's needed for the horse, it really depends on how you manage the horse. If you're in a pasturing situation where the horses are outside most all the time and they're getting most of their nutrients from the pasture, then we use a rule of thumb of 1.5 acres or 2 acres per horse.
You should follow up with your county extension office to find what the recommendation is in your particular county or region, because depending upon the climate, the soil quality, and the type of forage that grows on the land in your area, that number can vary.
If horses are managed more in a barn, in a riding academy or a lesson program or a boarding stable, most of their feed comes from their hay and their grain, so it's not a nutritional issue. Space then becomes an exercise and a well-being issue. Typically a 10 by 12 foot stall is where they'd be housed. They get all their feed in that space. Surely in each 24 hours they need to go outside and either play or be ridden or driven or exercised.
There's a lot of work that goes into preparing your property for a horse. Putting in a fence and barn may sound simple, but before you do that, there are some legal issues you should consider.
Anywhere you're building, I think you have to consider building codes and how your property is zoned. And whether you're zoned residential or you're zoned agricultural, you need to know that. And you need to know what are the setbacks and the easements and the things that are required relative to building in your neighborhood.
Another important horse housing question: will any barn be suitable? Exactly what type of shelter do horses need?
I think it's important for us to realize that the horse is made to live outside. The horse is a horse that builds a big hair coat in the wintertime, and a lot of times in the wind and the rains they'll turn their rear end to the storm and just put their head down and stand there, and you can't get them to come in the barn sometimes. So we typically look for a box stall that would be about a 10 by 12 foot in size stall. Sometimes they can run in and out of that. Sometimes just a 3-sided shed out in a pasture is plenty of protection. The important thing is they have somewhere that would block the wind. So even if they can get into the woods, it's plenty of protection, and even throughout the winter.
If you don't feel that you've got the space or place to keep a horse at your home, then you can look into boarding stables. Again, there are options here. Price is a big issue when it comes to choosing a stable. The more services a stable offers, the more it will cost you.
Stall boarding can range from basic stall boarding, where you are responsible for all of the daily care of the horse, and the boarding stable simply provides a stall and other facilities. Or you can look at a full care facility. In a full care facility, the boarding stable employees will take care of all of the daily care of the horse. This includes stall cleaning, feeding, watering, and turning the horse out to exercise. You may also have the option to have extra things done, such as blanketing, grooming, supplements added to the feed, forced exercise, lunging, some training. And to find out what exactly each boarding facility would offer, you need to interview the boarding facility manager and see what their scale would be.